Hello again. Welcome back to part 3 of Antidote to the Wire Fraud Epidemic. So the first segment we talked about what's happening in the statistics. The second part was decomposing the various ways that the scam works and how it's been catching people. And I'm always curious as to the why. And so this is the segment on why. My name is Kim Lay, and I'm the founder and CEO of A2Q2. We're sharing with you the latest trends and things that we see from our public and private companies, and this is one of the segments. So in the first segment, we talked about what's happening, and second segment, we talked about why the scam works, and now why the scam is so successful. What is going on? It's really simple. The scammers are using social engineering to game employees' responses. They are relying on employees' eagerness to please a boss. They're relying on the person's reluctance to question a boss or a client's wishes. They are relying on the person's desire to get out of the office on a Friday afternoon or late in the day sometime. And they're relying on the person's inability to reach an executive who's out of town and can't easily be reached for verification. And the people perpetrating these frauds are frequently researching the employee's responsibilities so that they know who to target. They're looking at publicly available data. They often gather information to try to make the wire transfer request as believable as possible. For example, they may research an executive's schedule using public information on the web, recent announcements about trade shows or conferences, or they're making inquiries with the executive's assistant. Maybe they're calling and saying, "Hi, I'd like to set up this appointment," and she doesn't think anything of it, or he doesn't think anything of it, and shares that so-and-so will be traveling. So they're trying to send the fraudulent emails when the executive is out of town and can't easily be reached. And although some of the fraudulent requests are for millions of dollars, they are likely to be for smaller dollar amounts, because for many companies, they have stricter controls like dual approvals the higher the amount gets. And so often these scammers are looking at lower $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 and see what their success rate, and they'll continue with this until they've been discovered. So again, looking at data mining socially available information and playing with your emotions and wanting to please. Right? So if this were to happen to you, and I hope it never gets to this, but I wanted to share a couple of steps that you can do for this. So first of all, contact your local FBI or Secret Service immediately and tell them it's a business email compromise scheme. Right? This has happened so often that they now have a regular name for this, business email compromise. The next part is contacting your financial institution and basically your bank or the receiving bank to request that they put a halt, they stop the wire, or they unwind the transfer. If you're able to discover this within the first 24 hours, I've been told that the banks, due to the timing delays, may be able to put a stop to this so that you don't lose any money. The third thing is contacting legal counsel for advice, whether it's your legal obligations, maybe you can get protection, in some cases insurance coverage depending on the circumstances, but getting legal advice, and finally changing your internal controls to minimize the risk of it happening again. And so it's not comforting when we get to this page, but the last segment that we have, segment 4, is actually going into details for you of the various controls that you can put in place around entity level controls, around AP controls, treasury controls, and IT controls. My name is Kim Lay, and I enjoy sharing this segment with you because I want this to be helpful. I want you to be able to use this information to protect yourself and your company, and I'll see you at the next segment. Have a great day.